But before I start speaking about programs of Antigua and Barbuda citizenship, I would like to give you a couple of reasons why people in general want to get a second passport. Because to have second, third, or further citizenships will allow you to get freedom. It is possibility to have different options no matter what happens in your life. If there are any changes in your lifestyle, in your freedom, political or economical situation in the country you are living now or you are a citizen of, if your family situation changes or your finances changes, second citizenship or third citizenship will allow you to have different options to consider. It is very important not to mistake citizenship with their residency because sometimes it happens that people mix those things, and I will just focus my attention now on what is citizenship, what is residence, and what is the difference between them. So citizenship means belonging and being a citizen of a particular country. Citizenship in general gives the right to vote on elections, national or local, to use social benefits as a citizen, for example, education. So you or your children can go to school, to the university, and have the same rights of citizens of the particular country, to obtain some scholarships, because sometimes they are restricted to citizens or nationals of only one country or particular region, to have a medical assistance, to have the right of traveling and using the entry rules and requirements which are open for citizens of particular countries. So, for example, having some visa on the arrival or no visa entry, and possibility to buy, own real estate, or in some cases, citizenship will allow you to buy agricultural properties, which in some cases, in some countries, are not available for foreigners. So all those things will give you more options and flexibility as a citizen. To be resident means to reside in one particular place, in one country, no matter if you're a citizen or not of that country. And residence gives the right to live, to work, maybe study, in general, spend unlimited time in one particular place. And if you're spending time in that particular place, you will become tax resident there, and you will be taxed according to the rules of the country where you reside. So it's important not to mix those terms. So you can have multiple citizenships. So it means passports. And you can have multiple residency permits, which also the case. It can happen that you have permits to live in one or another country, but you can be a tax resident only in one country. And if you live in different places and you don't know which place are you tax resident, because you're supposed to be tax resident in one country, then it means that you need to have some advice to understand where you are tax resident. So just a few words about Antigua and Barbuda. It is one of the most attractive passport programs at the moment. It is very strong Caribbean passport. Antigua in general, very well connected with America and Europe. There are a lot of direct flights. English is the main language, and it's the most cost-effective program nowadays. It is very good country to live also, and you can include a very large amount of family members in your application. So together with the main applicant, a lot of people can obtain the citizenship. If you like for example, sailing, there are a lot of big regattas happening in Antigua and Barbuda, and there is pretty big community of sailors, so you can bring your boat there. It's a very secure country, and if you have a philanthropist soul, you can contribute to the social undertakings of the country. Antigua and Barbuda also a member of some international organizations that allows trade within Caribbean. So if you would like to establish your business, there are some benefits of it. And one of the very interesting facts that will be good to know for people who decide to reside in Antigua and Barbuda. There is no personal income tax. Let me start with their information about Antigua and Barbuda and different options for the investment. Program will have next year 10 years. It started in 2013, and it allows people of age over 18 years old to apply for the citizenship by investment. And there are 4 types of investment options under this citizenship program. First one is a national development fund investment. There is investment in real estate, in business, and investment in the University of the West in this fund. So the most popular is National Development Fund. A single applicant or a family up to 4 members would need to invest $100,000, and a family of 5 or more members $125,000 in the National Development Fund. Important to say here who can apply together as a family member. The definition of the dependent in Antigua and Barbuda citizenship by investment program is very large. So by dependent, we understand spouse, children up to 30 years old, children of the spouse, unmarried siblings, and this is something particular for Antigua and Barbuda program, parents or great parents who are older than 55 years old and who are dependent on our individual who is applying. And we have also members of the family, future members of the family. So we have future spouse, future children, and future spouse of the children who we can include in this program. So second option of the investment is a real estate option. And here there are 2 options. So individual can invest in the approved real estate development under their CIP, and the amount will be $400,000. There is an option where when 2 applicants or 2 families can invest $200,000 and execute binding sale and purchase agreement jointly and apply for the citizenship. Quite often there is a question, should those people know each other or not? So they not necessarily need to know each other. They only requirement is that the application for the citizenship with the real estate investment option is done through the same agent. So those applicants might not even know each other. The third option is a business investment. And in business investment options, we have single investment of 1.5 million US dollars, or it can be done as a joint venture up to 12 passports, but with a minimum of 5 million investment, which means if we have all 12 applicants, then each would invest in business $400,000. If there are less people, then it will be slightly more. And the fourth option is the investment to the University of the West in this fund. It is preferred option for large families, for families that have a lot of members of their family applying, because if you as a large family you apply for this type of the option, you invest 150,000 US dollars, so up to 6 members including in the application. For each additional person you will need to pay $15,000, and there is one very interesting incentive that one family member has an exemption from the tuition at the University of West Indies in Antigua campus. So if applicant or his children or his grandchildren would like to study at the university, they will have an exemption for 1 year from the tuition fees. So except the investment that you would do, there are also government fees, government processing fees, which are 30,000 for individual and 30,000 for a family up to 4 members. And for the families with 5 members and more, there will be 15,000 for each additional member over 5 members. As I mentioned, for large families, the preferred investment is University of the West Indies, because there is no processing fee for applicants who have 6 members. And then there are 15,000 for each additional applicant over six people in the application. Except the processing fee, there are due diligence fees. Due diligence will be done on each applicant who is older than 12 years. And during the submission of the application, 10% of the government processing fees that I mentioned and due diligence fees would need to be paid. All the initial fees, the processing fee and the 10% of the processing fee and due diligence fee are non-refundable. So we have 7,500 for the main applicant and his spouse, his or her spouse. Due diligence fees for children over 11 years old is 2,000 or 4,000, and for parents and grandparents is $4,000. And once their due diligence and all the process of the application investment has been done, and applicant and his family received successfully the citizenship, for each passport they would need to pay $300. Couple of words about requirements. Since applicants receive the citizenship, there is a requirement to spend 5 days in Antigua and Barbuda. So application can be done remotely. During COVID, there was a possibility to go to the embassy that is in the country of the applicant or in the nearest country, and there were no requirement to travel to Antigua and Barbuda. But once you receive the passport, there is a requirement to spend 5 days, 5 days in the island within 5 years, because the passport is issued for 5 years, and subject to renewal is spending those 5 days in the island. So like once in 5 years, you can have a really nice vacations and go and see and meet people and the island of the in the country passport you are holding. Advantages I already mentioned in the beginning. For a lot of people, Caribbean passports are mainly gateway to free travels, including visa-free access to the Schengen area, UK, Caribbean region. There is a possibility to obtain the real estate without a requirement of non-citizens land holding license, which is needed for foreigners. It is a competitive global market for economic citizenship and investment options. There are no restrictions on dual nationality. So if you have Antiguan and Barbudan passport, you can obtain additional passports and citizenship. It is the citizenship for life, of course, with the requirement of spending 5 days on the island. The process is pretty straightforward. There is no minimum requirements for the wealth and net worth and some particular experiences in the business. And there is no tax on the worldwide income, inheritance, capital gains, investment returns. So basically, there is no personal income tax in general. And Antigua and Barbuda has a good banking network, a network of financial, corporate, and trust service providers in the island and their representatives in different countries.